The main clause here reads that the Tourism Commission has conducted these surveys, and the underlined portion actually starts after the clause. And don't let this with construction fool you here. See, generally we can notice that when we have this comma with constructions, they are usual red flags. But they are only red flags when we have a construction which says comma with noun and participle. For example, if this clause ended with something like with the guest providing feedback. So if I had a construction like this, with plus noun plus participle, then I could try to decide whether this is a red flag or not. But you see, this is not the case here because we have with the goal of reducing the guess. So this is not the with plus noun plus participle construction. So please don't be quick to eliminate the answer choices that begin with the with. What's actually happening here is that this whole construction is a big prepositional phrase which is actually acting as an adverbial modifier for the clause in front of it. So this whole modifier is basically modifying the meaning as to why they conducted these surveys, because they have the goal of reducing the dissatisfaction. So let's look at the differences in construction among these answer choices and see what exact meaning differences they are creating. So in A, we have with the goal of reducing the guess. So when you vertically look for the differences, we can see that most of these answer choices read reduce the number of guess. So if I say reducing the guess themselves, that doesn't make any logical sense. A goes off because you have to reduce the number. Now when we look for another difference, we can see that the placement of this word ultimate is different in these choices. In B and C, ultimately has been used as an adverb, and in E we have this used as an adjective. But before we deal with that, let's come to D and understand what exactly is wrong with this. Now you see, there is this number of guess, which is a prepositional phrase, followed by that ends up expressing, which is a relative clause. See, who's actually expressing the dissatisfaction? It's the guess, right? But if I say that, the that is obviously referring to the number, because if I want to use a relative pronoun to refer to guess, it has to be who and not that. So this sentence illogically conveys the meaning that it's the number that ends up expressing and not the guess, and that's exactly why D goes off. Now let's deal with the ultimately split. So in B, if you say ultimately reduce the number of guests, see, the word ultimate means in the end, something that happens in the end. So in B, if we use this ultimately as an adverb to modify reduce, then we are saying that in the end reduce the number of guests. Now think about it logically. If they want to reduce the number of guests expressing dissatisfaction, why would they want to wait till the end to actually reduce the number of guests who express dissatisfaction? They can start right from the beginning, right? So saying that they want to reduce the number of guests in the end does not make sense. So B goes off. Now here, ultimately is put right after the comma. That means this is actually acting as an adverb to the clause in front of it. And this would mean that the Tourism Commission conducted these surveys ultimately. So this indicates the meaning that they conducted these surveys in the end. That does not make any sense. So E will be your logical answer. In E, the ultimate is acting as an adjective for the noun goal. So if we say it's the ultimate goal of reducing the number of guests, well, they conducted these surveys with the end goal of doing these. So that makes perfect logical sense. E echo is the right answer.